Texas Congressman Keith Self. Good morning. Thank you so much for waking up early with us, sir. So the Democrats, they still believe there is an upside to the mess they created. So let's take a listen to Senator Chris Murphy describing how the Democrat shutdown somehow went from being about a battle over health care to now being about saving democracy from Donald Trump. Listen.
Was this a flawed strategy to begin with, the idea of using a shutdown as leverage?
Well, Democrats didn't want this shutdown, but we have values. And so if you want Democratic votes for a budget, it has to be a moral budget that doesn't destroy our democracy. The fact of the matter is, if you don't put constraints on Donald Trump's illegality, this democracy isn't going to be here next November. It isn't going to be here in 2028.
Okay. Wow. So there'll be no democracy by 2028, apparently, sir. Your reaction to this?
Well, he let slip the bottom line for the Democrats. He said, basically, the hatred of Donald Trump is at the bottom of all of this. Now, they destroyed military pay for 43 days. They didn't pay the ATC. They tied up the air traffic. Listen, when we voted last week and President Trump signed the end of the shutdown, there was a palpable relief across America. But he let the bottom line slip. They hate Donald Trump.
Yeah, and they let their hatred for Donald Trump really keep the American people almost hostage during this shutdown. They really put that first over, again, like you said, getting the military paid, the SNAP benefits. I mean, it's horrible to hear all of that. But to follow up on that, if Democrats believe this was a win for them, honestly, sir, what is preventing them from bringing us government shutdown part 2, the sequel, at the end of January?
Well, I don't know what they would use for leverage. What do you have for leverage? Are they going to stop military pay again at the end of January? Are they going to fight again for illegal health care for illegals? What are they going to use for leverage? Are they going to stop SNAP again? Look, the ACA subsidies are going to be temporary COVID area subsidies are going to be handled by the end of the year somehow, some way. So I'm not sure what they would use for leverage, except hatred of Donald Trump.
Just unbelievable. Let's take a quick listen to this clip from Congresswoman Delilah Ramirez calling out the current leadership in the Democrat Party.
The reality is Chuck Schumer failed us. He voted with us, but there's no way that 8 senators, some of the most closest senators to him, voted, negotiated privately or on the side, and did what they did without him knowing. The reality is that the Senate needs new leadership. I'm not in the Senate, so I don't want to impose my own ideas of who I think should be there, but I know the kind of person they need. Someone that's actually going to speak up, say the unpopular things when necessary, bring people together, and demonstrate that they're fighting like hell collectively and holding the line.
Yeah, during the shutdown, it really exposed a lot of infighting within the Democrat Party. Now the Democrats calling for Schumer to step down. We obviously are seeing that civil war going on between that party. But then you look on the other side of the aisle, it seems like maybe some cracks are also forming on the right, in regards to maybe the Epstein files, immigration more. I mean, what is your take when it comes to the turmoil on both sides of the aisle that we're kind of seeing right now?
Well, for the Democrats, they are basically bowing to the progressive left. The AOCs of their party, both in the Senate and in the House, are in charge now. Schumer lost this fight big time within his own party, and I suspect he'll pay a price. On the right, look, the Epstein files are going to be put behind us this week, and we're going to move on. We're going to be united going forward because if you saw Fox News just recently, groceries, gas, inflation in general is down under President Trump. Now, the mainstream media won't tell you that, but those are the actual numbers. We just have to get the American people understanding that things are better off and are going to continue to get better because of the one big, beautiful bill that kicks in on 1 January. Going forward, things are going to be better. People are going to feel better, and we're going to get this country back on track.
Yeah, I mean, you go to, like you said, you go to the grocery store, you go to the pump, prices are definitely lower. But let's talk a little bit more about immigration. So President Trump says the next target of his nationwide crackdown on illegal immigrants is Charlotte, North Carolina. And of course, Democrat local officials fighting him tooth and nail, just like they did like in Chicago. So, sir, as a representative of Texas, where we know immigration is really top of mind, your thoughts on this latest development here?
Well, look, Texans are delighted with the control of the southern border, the southern Texas border. We are delighted with what Tom Homan has done over the months. The flow is actually going the other way now, which is exactly the way it ought to go. But as far as this ICE, look, ICE has federal authority over the entire United States. So they need to be doing their jobs to go after the illegal immigrants who are actual criminals, get them out of our towns, our cities, and get them back overseas somewhere to the countries that will take them.
Yeah.
So let's applaud what ICE is doing in these blue cities, because the blue cities are the ones that are being destroyed by the very policies that the Democrats import to them.
Yeah, and you even look, people will point to, well, it's a red state, but the problems are happening in the blue cities within any of those red states, like you look at Louisiana. Tom Homan is certainly no nonsense when it comes to this. Congressman Keith Self, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.